Title of this video,
Here it is.
$100 leaf cleanup. I'm just giving y'all a quick, just a quick look at the whole entire yard, just so you can see just the
So many
sheer number of leaves that this yard contains.
That's what we're working with today.
There's a lot of leaves right here. Hit the like button so this video can be recommended to other people.
You in the driveway too.
Hit the subscribe. I will definitely be showing all of these yards that I do here in Ohio.
Front yard, man.
Cleveland to be exact. And hit the bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video.
We got a little sprinkle on the side of the house too, just to that gate. Just a little sprinkle.
I'm gonna get ready to jump into it.
God gave me something to do today.
Alright, usually I just mulch all of these leaves down as much as possible, but I'm getting another hitch put on the back of my truck because I got another truck and I got to get the hitch put on the back of it so I could carry my trailer around. So I'm actually doing this leaf cleanup, going back to the basics, just grinding it out with a shovel and my rake. This is how I started out doing leaf cleanups, and I don't have no problem with going back to the basics if I need to. I will be mulching some of the leaves up, but I gotta get a lot of them up before I can start mulching. Basically what I'm doing is I'm scooping them with the shovel, and then I'm holding them together with the rake there. And in Ohio, I ain't even gonna say Ohio, but in the little small towns that I do outside of Cleveland, they come around to the curb. The cities come around to the curb and they suck up all the leaves, and some kind, like the city has this big leaf truck that they come suck all the leaves up off the curb. So pretty much what I'm doing is just putting these leaves up on this 8x8 tarp, and I just drag it once I fill it up as much as possible, because leaves really ain't that heavy. I mean, I could put as many leaves on here as possible, and that's what I'm gonna do. And then I pretty much just drag the tarp all the way to the curb on the tree line and dump them out. On this yard, I had to fill my tarp up twice, and at least get, I would say, about maybe good 85% of the leaves up in the backyard and drag them to the front. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. You know, just putting that leg work in. Sometimes when you don't have the big mulching lawnmowers or the big lawnmowers with the big bagging systems and stuff, sometimes you just got to get back to the basics with this stuff, with your rake, your shovel, and your tarp. It can be done. It can be done without the expensive equipment. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just knocking it out. Getting it done regardless. See, that's what I was saying. You could put the leaves right there next to the curb, and the city will come and suck all those leaves up. They stop at a certain time of the year, but they will come and get them up until, I believe, around like Thanksgiving time. What I'm doing here is I'm just pretty much blowing all the leaves into the middle of the yard. I'm just going around the perimeter of the yard and just getting everything into the middle as much as possible. The reason why I'm doing that is because, well, I'm gonna do one more tarp run in the back right here, but once these leaves is in the middle, then I can start mulching them. I got a little small mower. I couldn't bring the X mark out because, like I was saying, I gotta get a hitch for the back of my. Well, I gotta get the actual 2-inch hitch receiver put on the back of my new truck. So right here, I'm just blowing them into the middle of the yard as much as possible. So once I get this last tarp run going, after I get this last tarp run, then I'm gonna just take my push mower and just mulch the rest of the leaves down. That's pretty much it. I mean, it would have been way too much, and I got that stihl BG 86 blower over there, and from what you could see, that's a pretty strong blower. For it not to be a backpack blower, I think that's the strongest handheld stihl blower as you can get at the time. Well, at the time when I bought it, it was the strongest one you could get. And I'm really impressed by that little handheld blower. I use it all year just because I could just, I mean, it's I don't really do that many leaf cleanups. So I just haven't had the need to invest in a backpack blower. I figured I'll just get the strongest handheld blower they got, so I could just, once I get finished cutting the yard, I just blow, I'm just blowing the grass. I mulch all the yards I cut. So, I just needed a really strong handheld blower just to blow the clippings back into the yard a little bit. That's all. And I just didn't feel the need to buy a huge backpack blower just to blow some clippings back into the yard. I mean, when I'm cutting these yards, I mean, I'm lifting the deck up high enough to where it's not like an extreme amount of clippings. So I just didn't feel the need to have a backpack blower. Like that takes a lot of room up in my truck or in the back of my truck. And I'm not against a backpack blower. I mean, if you know, I wouldn't mind getting one. But to be honest, I don't not have a backpack blower because I couldn't get one. It's just I just feel like it was just unnecessary for me to have a big backpack blower on, walking around with a big backpack blower on, with these tiny little yards that I could, you know. And the BG86 steel blower, and I'm pretty sure other brands have really strong handheld blowers. That thing is more than enough for me to blow these yards off. I mean, even with this yard right here, if I had a backpack blower, that's all I would have used it for. Exactly what you seen me do, blow this, how I blew this yard, blew the leaves up into the grass like that, so I could mulch them down. That's what I would have used the backpack blower for. Same thing, same exact thing. And the handheld blower is actually more maneuverable. Like, I'm blowing up on the side of a gate or something like that. It's hard to do that with a backpack blower because you can't switch hands with a backpack blower. With a backpack blower, it's on your right hand side and that's it. Ain't no okay, it's a better maneuver where you could get more leaves into the middle so you could switch it to your left hand right quick. You can't do that with a backpack blower. You can't switch hands with it. So it's like, I don't know. For a long time, I always felt like you had, like, if you wasn't really doing much, you wasn't, it was a great investment to have a backpack blower. And that's not necessarily true. It depends on your setup and it depends on what type of, it depends on your setup and it depends on the yards that you cutting. If you cutting a lot bigger yards where you have way more space to blow, but these little tiny yards right here, I don't need a big backpack blower. You see this little thing right here? I'm this little driveway I'm blowing. His handheld blower is more than enough, and it's blowing so strong. This handheld blower is probably stronger than some people's backpack blowers. To be honest, you see how strong this thing blowing? With a backpack, see how I got it in my left hand right there? And I'm blowing, getting that stuff out of there. It's in my left hand, and I'm able to just maneuver that thing and get those leaves exactly where I want them to be. You can't do that with a backpack blower. It gotta be in your right hand. So I just feel like with these little small yards, some setups is better. Some setups are actually better. You better off having a handheld blower, to be honest. This is the biggest leaf cleanup I've done all year. So for me, it's like, for my business, I'm really not blowing a lot of stuff. Like I said, this is the biggest one. I think I don't even really get, to be honest, I don't really get that many leaf cleanup jobs. A lot of people just get tired of the grass after a while, and once the leaves hit and they don't have to deal with the yard no more. In my market, I'm not saying every market, because you might be in an affluent neighborhood where they don't want nothing. They don't want no clippings. They don't want no leaves, nothing. They'll pay you whatever to get it off of there because they just have the income to afford getting that much work done on their yard, and they want it to be pristine. They maybe even live in a neighborhood where, an affluent neighborhood where it just, they feel compelled or have to do it because everybody else's yard is so nice that they feel they have to do it. In my market, people, it's a middle class market. It's a middle class market. It's a lot of homeowners, but the wealth is it's not an affluent neighborhood. It's not very the areas I cut is I ain't gonna say they don't have money. It's just middle class. It's not like a affluent. It's not like a rich area where it's just they have that type of income where they can spend money like that. A lot of people once they just want the bare minimum. They want the cheapest price they could get, and they just want the yard to look neat, and that's understandable. So what I'm doing here is in the front, I was able to just blow those leaves right to the curb. And now I'm just mulching up all the rest of the little small straggle-alongs that was still there. And I feel like when I'm doing the leaf cleanup, when I mulch the rest of the leaves down and it's getting that last cut, I just feel like it makes the yard look better. It just make the yard look better. You doing that last leaf cleanup and you mulching the leaves down, and the grass is also getting cut at the same time. You preparing that yard for the winter time, and you preparing that yard to look good for a lot of months where that yard won't be cut no more.